Emotional leverage in relationships often shows up through subtle, repeated behaviors that create imbalance. These patterns can cause confusion, self-doubt, and emotional dependency. Whether intentional or not, they keep people stuck in cycles of hope and disappointment. 5 patterns in particular are important to understand: intermittent reinforcement, breadcrumbing, emotional stringing along, control through avoidance, and attachment sabotage. Intermittent reinforcement happens when affection, attention, or communication is given inconsistently. Sometimes there is warmth, care, or excitement, and then suddenly it disappears. The inconsistency causes the brain to stay on high alert, searching for reasons and hoping the connection will return. This creates emotional attachment to the uncertainty itself. For example, a child who receives candy for cleaning their room, but only sometimes, may become more focused on cleaning, not because they enjoy it, but because they are trying to figure out how to get the reward again. The same thing happens in relationships. The emotional brain becomes obsessed with trying to win back affection. In adult relationships, this can be seen when one partner is affectionate and engaged one week, then distant the next. The other person may respond by working harder emotionally, hoping to bring the good version of the relationship back. Over time, the inconsistency becomes the glue holding the relationship together, rather than mutual trust or care. Breadcrumbing refers to giving small, scattered signals of interest without any intention of forming a meaningful connection. These can be things like liking a photo, sending a brief message, or making a vague compliment. The emotional impact is much larger than the effort put in. A simple comparison is feeding a dog a crumb. The dog stays nearby, waiting for more, even though a full meal never comes. In relationships, breadcrumbing keeps one person emotionally invested with minimal effort from the other. Children might recognize this pattern in friendships. A classmate may be friendly only when they want something or when no one else is around. While it might feel like a connection, it often disappears as soon as something better comes along. In the workplace, breadcrumbing can take the form of a supervisor giving occasional praise or encouragement, but no consistent support. Employees stay motivated by trying to earn approval that never becomes consistent or reliable. Emotional stringing along is similar to breadcrumbing, but involves more active engagement. One person may frequently suggest plans, talk about the future, or express emotions, but never actually commits. The relationship feels like it's going somewhere, but it never arrives. It's like telling a child there's a birthday party coming every week, but always canceling. The child remains hopeful, but increasingly confused and disappointed. Adults may experience this in friendships or romantic relationships, where one person continually talks about wanting to spend time together or build something real, but cancels plans or remains emotionally distant. The hope remains, but nothing changes. Control through avoidance is a more passive but still powerful way of managing a relationship. Instead of openly controlling someone, a person may use silence, emotional distance, or inaction to hold power. This creates pressure without direct confrontation. Imagine a group project where one teammate never responds or helps, but still wants their name on the final product. The others carry the responsibility and feel the stress. In emotional relationships, this plays out when one person avoids conversations, decisions, or support, while the other person carries the emotional weight. A partner who avoids emotional conversations, disappears during conflict, or refuses to clarify their feelings leaves the other person anxious and overworking to maintain the connection. The silence itself becomes a form of control. Attachment sabotage is when someone initially welcomes closeness through bonding, affection, or deep conversations, and then suddenly pulls away when the relationship begins to feel real. This creates emotional instability and makes the other person question themselves. A child might draw a picture and receive praise, only to be ignored when they share another one. Over time, they may feel unsure about whether their efforts are valued or if they should keep trying. In adult relationships, attachment sabotage shows up when someone initiates intimacy, shares feelings, or seems committed, then suddenly disappears, becomes cold, or withdraws without explanation. This causes confusion, self-doubt, and often guilt in the person left behind. All of these behaviors, intermittent reinforcement, breadcrumbing, stringing along, avoidance, and sabotage, create emotional instability. They keep people engaged in unhealthy relationships by confusing them, making them second-guess their instincts, and encouraging emotional overinvestment. In contrast, healthy relationships are marked by clarity, reliability, mutual care, and emotional safety. They don't rely on silence or unpredictability. People show up for each other consistently, communicate openly, and treat each other with steady respect. Teaching this difference is important for both children and adults. Real connection does not involve trying to earn someone's attention or affection. A relationship should feel balanced, not like one person is doing all the work while the other stays distant or unclear. A helpful image is a seesaw. When both sides put in equal effort, it moves smoothly. But if one person is carrying all the weight while the other barely shows up, the relationship tips into imbalance and eventually stops working altogether. Emotional leverage can be found in many areas of life. A romantic partner may pull close, then push away. A friend may reach out only when they need help. A coworker might praise you in passing but never support your ideas. A parent might celebrate achievements but go quiet during moments of emotional need. These patterns, repeated over time, teach people to doubt themselves. They may begin to believe they need to work harder to be loved, or that they are not worthy of steady care. This belief can carry into future relationships where the cycle repeats. Recognizing emotional leverage is the beginning of change. Once the patterns are visible, they can be questioned and interrupted. A person can choose to step back from confusing dynamics and build relationships that feel steady and safe. Healthy connection doesn't come from confusion. It comes from honesty, presence, effort, and mutual care. Relationships that rely on emotional leverage are not true partnerships. They are systems, and systems can be changed.